Okay, so hello people, so today we'll be solving LeetCode daily question 165, that is compare version numbers, and in this we'll be given two version numbers, version 1 and version 2. And version numbers consist of one or more revisions joined by a dot. Okay, so just like Android version numbers, these are also version number, and each revision consists of this and may containing leading zeros. Okay, and every revision contains at least one character, and revisions are seen indexed from left to right, with leftmost revision being 0 and the next revision being 1, and so on. Okay, for example 2.5.33 and 0.1 are the valid version numbers. But to compare the two version numbers, compare their revisions in left to right order. Okay, and revisions are compared using their integer value ignoring any leading zero. Okay, so for example 1 and 001 are considered equal, and if a version number does not specify a revision at any index, then treat the revision as 0. For example, version 1.0 is less than version 1.1 because their revision zeros are the same, but their revision ones are 0 and 1 are respectively are different respectively, and 0 is less than 1, so my 1.1 version is greater than the 1.0 version. Okay, and what do you have to do? I have to return -1 or 1, and if the both the versions are equal, I have to return a 0. Okay, so that depends upon the string. Okay, so for this let's just quickly convert the version 1 string into an array. So string v1, I'll split uh, that will be equal to version 1 dot split, and in this we need to pass a delimiter. So for this we'll be using dot with 2. Okay, and similarly what will you do with, we'll do it for version 2 as well. So let's have the string array of v2. So that is, I'll just paste it quickly, and this will become v version 2 and v2 as well. Okay, and also have the two variables that they are n and m, and n that will be equal to v1 dot length, and m that will be equal to v2 dot length. Okay, and now what I'll do is I'll basically iterate over these two strings, and anywhere if I find that there is a difference, I'll return -1 or a 1 based on that condition. Okay, so that for int I equal to 0, I less than maximum of, because we'll have to travel to the biggest string, biggest version number, let's say maximum of n comma m, and then I plus plus. Okay, and then what I'll be doing is I'll be calculating the number 1 for the version at the index that will be equal to, if my I is less than n. So if this is true, that what I'll do a parse integer dot parse int. Okay, integer dot parse int with v1 I, else if this is not the case, like if the index is not valid, so in that case we have to do a 0, and similarly I'll be calculating the number 2 as well. Okay, so num2 as well, I less than m, and here it should be v2 of I. Okay, and here I'll be checking some of the condition, that if my number one is greater than my number 2, so in that case I'll return 1, because I'll just check it here only. And else if I'll check that if my number 2 is greater than my number 1, in this case I'll return -1, return -1, and if I don't find any difference, in that case I'll return 0. Okay, so now let's run it. Okay, so integer, now let's run it again, and it works perfectly fine. Okay, now let's submit it. Okay, and works perfectly fine. Okay, so this is it for today. Thank you for watching.